I would like to thank Freedom House for honoring my father, Wang Bingzhang, with this distinguished award and for the opportunity to tell his story today. But before doing so, I would also like to remember a special and departed friend, Fred Hyatt. It is in large part thanks to Fred and his crusade on my father's behalf that my father is being celebrated today. And I want to honor what Fred continues to do for my family, even in his absence. My father is a Chinese political prisoner currently serving the 22nd year of a life sentence for his work in pro-democracy activism. Having lived through the Chinese Communist Party's Cultural Revolution and other political campaigns and purges, my father became smitten by the values of democracy he experienced in Canada as a PhD student. So he gave up his medical career and instead devoted his life to what he believed were basic freedoms long overdue to the Chinese people. Exiled from his homeland, he spent 20 years traveling the world working towards the democratic transformation of China. In 2002, while traveling in Vietnam, my father was abducted into China. There, he was arrested by Chinese police, subjected to a secret trial, and sentenced to life in prison. He has been serving that sentence in solitary confinement, which has sent both his physical and mental health into devastating decline. It's beyond agonizing to accept that it's been over 2 decades that my father has been imprisoned, despite all of my family's efforts to free him. He was only 54 years old when he was first arrested. Since then, both of his beloved parents have long passed away. He's had 6 grandchildren that he's never met. And now his closest and most devoted sibling, my Aunt Linda, is battling metastasized cancer. Still, she refuses to give up and uses all the energy she has left to continue fighting for her brother's release. These are just some of the reasons why this award is so meaningful to my family. The past 20-some years have been unspeakably painful. It is, of course, my father who is in prison, but my whole family has been captive to his plight. It's difficult to describe the overwhelming sense of helplessness and defeat we have felt while trying to free my father from a Chinese prison. It's even harder to talk about the emotional chaos inflicted by his imprisonment. From anguish and despair, from feeling like we failed him, to guilt and shame for just wanting to move on with our lives. It's been a hellish psychological roller coaster with no end in sight. But the experience has been a gift, too. So much of my own life has been shaped by my advocacy for my father. And it's a privilege to have had that mission to guide me into adulthood. It's provided me with a sense of purpose, profound friendships, and rich life experiences that have broadened my perspective and my horizons. I'm also grateful for tonight and the opportunity to share this evening with my 6-year-old daughter, Sol, in hopes that she'll not only learn more about her grandfather, but the complicated world we live in. Advocating for my father has also brought me into a community of allies that deeply inspire me. These include other families of political prisoners with whom I share an unshakable bond. They also include the clients of my law firm, which I helped found with my brother and our friend Adam, which specializes in representing Chinese human rights activists in civil cases against those who oppress them. And they include other activists, advocates, and organizations like Freedom House, whose dedication to advancing human rights moves and benefits us all. Finally, my father's plight has taught me what it means to persevere and be hopeful, which is a powerful thing in a turbulent and anguished world. And after 20 years of imprisonment, it's not easy to hold on to hope. But however impossible it may seem, I do believe in his eventual release. And there's nothing more uplifting than knowing that my father is not forgotten, that his sacrifice wasn't in vain, and that his legacy remains relevant. For that, I would like to thank Freedom House for stoking at our embers of hope and keeping hope alive for my father and my family. Thank you.